Brodes Media.
What do you know? I was right again. 2-0. The Eagles start the season off 2-0. And I was told that, Brodes, this schedule is so damn difficult. This schedule is so hard. You're devaluing our greatness. And let me be very clear. There is definitely work to be done. What we got out of Kevin Patullo and the offensive identity today was unacceptable. But I expect it to change as they progress. When you go through the process of becoming who you're supposed to be, there's a lot of ups and downs. And what makes you elite compared to being great, compared to being good, is you still manufacture wins throughout all of those ups and downs. They just had a piss-poor offensive game and won in Arrowhead against a squad that was 0-1. Very desperate team. Pat Mahomes doesn't lose 3 straight. That squad was looking for revenge for getting absolutely fucking pantsed in the Super Bowl. You didn't have anywhere near your A-plus game offensively and still won. That's actually impressive. I actually think there's a ton of value in that. I think there's something super special about who you are, who your leadership is, if you are capable of doing that consistently. And they can consistently. It's different if it's a one-off. It's different if it's a two-off. But this is what it is a lot of the time. They just win. They win at such a heavy clip. You're talking ridiculous, insane winning percentage with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. So I value that. But I do find it ironic that there are a lot of Eagles fans worried before the season begins about how difficult Dallas is to start the year off, how hard it is to go on the road. And then when they see wins that have some uncomfortable series, they bitch and cry the whole time. You told me that you were afraid to fly to Kansas City and to play that game so early in the year. And the first 4 games have all these rough teams that you have to go see. What do you expect it just to be magical, perfect, elite football right from the rip? Now, to be fair, it does need to be better than this. But those two statements don't align. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is a joke. Oh, this is pathetic. And then 3 weeks ago, before kickoff, before the season even started, I'd be okay with 2-2 because I know you have the Rams with Matthew Stafford and you got Andy Reid. Oh, that's soft. Soft in my eyes. Speaking of soft, and I know this sounds a little hypocritical, but I am a little disappointed with the 3rd and 16. Let me just hand it off to Saquon and we'll kick it. Or, hey, right before half, we'll tie it up 10-10 instead of putting our foot on the gas and trying to score a touchdown. Not a huge fan of that. So let me set the record straight before I start pouring out my emotions as we get thicker into the details, right? As we peel layers back with this team. Big picture, phenomenal. Big picture, awesome. You're seeing young kids on the defense step up. Andrew Makuba was a rock star. The only thing that annoyed me, 2 things. I can't believe Big Boy caught up. Come on, dude, take it to the house. Take it to the house. You let the big boy catch you. And truth be told, I actually wanted that big boy from Ohio State if you didn't go after Jahad Campbell in the first round. But there were actually a lot of Eagles fans disappointed with the Makuba pick. Thinking too small, too brittle, won't work, not a game changer. CJGJ, the loss of him, Howie's dumb. Holy hell, man. Go take a look at what he was capable of doing with Texas. This. He had a preseason game, had a pick 6 and a fumble recovery at the line of scrimmage. Here he is. Everywhere. used in blitz packages. Him and Zadarius Smith, my God, a tag team duo that were incredible. They had different pockets of this game where both of them at the same time, boom, killer. That third down tackle, my God. That third down tackle right before they got the turnover on downs, there was so much space. Pat Mahomes put the ball in his playmaker's hands. There was so much green grass in front of him, and out of nowhere, just lowers his shoulder and pops him. Then they get a huge fourth down stop. That was so sexy. He shouldn't have got ran over by Mahomes. That was annoying. That was the other play that pissed me off. But to have that happen, right, where you get embarrassed by Pat Mahomes, where he puts it in the dirt, man, doesn't matter. Huge interception. Game-changing plays. As a young player, he's just getting started. That's tremendous. That's real. Cooper DeJean making solid, strong tackles. That's real. Don't know what happened late there. The touchdown by, you had guys running into each other on the left side of the field. You had a couple of deep shots where, the Chiefs just kept chucking it downfield when they were down 10 with a couple of minutes to go, and it was way too close for my liking, so that's probably going to bother Vic Fangio pretty heavily there when he goes back to the tape. But this defense, they made some serious plays. Saquon had some tough running. I don't understand the offense, though. I don't understand the offense, and I'm a little disappointed in this respect. Again, very happy with the win. Very, 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 very satisfied with the win. And I don't devalue the win just because I know the offense needs to adapt and needs to kick it into gear. But this is what upsets me about that, is part of the intrigue with Kevin Patullo being hired is he was already here. So we already had information on what you like to do, winning a Super Bowl with Kellen Moore, A.J. Brown, Saquon. This being the starting point should be way past this. It's not a new name and a new face coming in here and bringing in some of these crazy, savvy new ideas of a new style of offense and this and that. I mean, Tom Brady, when he was calling this out, he goes, A.J. Brown, all he's doing is running the same route of a slant. That's ludicrous. You can't tell me for 7 days this coaching staff, 10 days, back to Thursday. They had more than just a week. This isn't just a traditional week. You were dating back to Thursday Night Football. You had more time. How in the world do you sit there and have this be what's on your plate? The real only threat deep downfield is when Spags threw the all-out blitz and Jalen rightfully said, all right, Devontae, I'll put it in your wheelhouse and go win a battle one-on-one. I'll chuck it up, and it's on you now to beat your guy. And he made the play on the right side for about a 25-yard gain-ish. The left side, he went down. He hurt his back there for a tad. I was a little nervous, but I thought he should have made that play too. Hit him in both of his hands. Hit him right by his face mask there. He should have came down with that one. He missed that one, but he had the second one, and kudos to him. But there's something out of sync, out of sorts. When Jalen stepped up to try to escape and scramble, and he got popped and went maybe like 10 feet in the air, I was like, holy hell, oh God, that was brutal, right? Just got right up and just kept winning because he's a stud. But when that happened, again, Tom Brady shows the broadcast, there's nothing. Downfield, everybody's covered. You're telling me you can't scheme open anyone? There was one play, Jalen had 900 seconds in the pocket. And you could see him standing there going from right to left, and he was looking for something. Here's A.J. Brown coming back. It ends up being a 1-yard gain where you had to use one of your timeouts because he was putting himself back towards out of bounds. But the amount of time that Jalen had for a play to develop, that's all. There was nothing going on downfield. And last week, a lot of the All-22 people said the same thing. Not really much happening out there. Sorry, no excuse that Dallas Goedert wasn't there, and that's why it looked that ugly. So, with Kevin Patullo and Sirianni, it needed to be a better starting point as an offense than where we are now. That is true. But I do find it very intriguing that we could be facing such a hostile environment with revenge factor and desperation with everybody in a Chiefs uniform, and you still manage to come out. You just win. You just win. And I can't downplay that part of the craft, because I can make the argument it's harder to win these games than it is if everything was working. I say this all the time about pitchers in baseball. If you have your A-plus stuff and you're grooving, you're cruising, your curveball is dipping beautifully, 12-6, your fastball, paint job, two-seamer, moving, boom, catching the inside part of the plate, you're freezing guys left and right, then just keep cooking, baby. Just keep doing your thing. But what happens if it's a day where you get a couple guys on base each inning? Are you still able to go 6 and only allow 1 earned run? Or do you go 5 and allow 4 earned runs? When you don't have your A-plus stuff, what's it look like? And that couldn't be more true in a game like this. You have to deal with stupid penalties when you have a 52, 53-yarder set up to tie the game before half. Now it's a 58-yarder, and Jake Elliott, who was garbage last year from over 50-plus, drills it. Easy. Breeze. Which is huge. I don't like the fact that they settled for that, because the old Eagles would be pissed off and they would want to shove it down your throat. The old Eagles would want to do something to make you sweat, do something to make you feel pain. You would feel suffering. And you should be able to trust your team with 30 seconds to go in a half, with a couple of timeouts, to have an explosive play instead of just settling. I don't like that. Where the hell did that come from? That's bizarre. You're telling me on 3rd and long I can't trust to get a first down with A.J. Brown? That's disgusting. So I don't like that portion of it. And I feel very passionate about that. So I want the tone to be harsh. I want the tone to be real. But I guess where I differ from everybody else is I expect it to change, because it has to. It flat out has to. There's something wrong right now. But what separates you from the rest of the league is when something's wrong, you win. Because a lot of teams, when something's wrong, they lose.